In the previous episode...
Maria Isabella Grace.
Did her boobs just jiggle?
Huh?
I mean, personally, I feel like Isabella would just do this. So I'm also going to do that. If I die, I hope it just puts me back in this position again. I shut my eyes, muttering fervent prayers under my breath.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come? Something something. Prayers taught me as a child by Mama and my Papa slip out endlessly through my teeth. Because God, oh God, if you have to listen to any of my prayers, please listen to this one! And if God doesn't listen, at least I won't see that thing kill me. A cold comfort. I wait. And I wait some more. But when nothing happens, I dare to take a peek. Thank fuck. Only to find that ghost, that thing, whatever it is, gone. Relief washes over me as I shakily get up to my feet and back away towards the door. Wrenching it open, I slip out without a second thought and make a run for it, down the stairs and to the hallway. I take a look back to make sure it isn't behind me. Any other person might have stopped, dismissed it as a trick of the light and an overactive imagination. But I'm not taking any chances. I am not giving that thing another chance to catch me off guard. I don't think I'll ever feel safe until I get out of here. Whatever that is, every warning bell in my mind is telling me that it's going to jump out at any moment and get me while I'm still in this place. So I just had a realization that if I can die in this game, I should probably be save scumming. So I'm gonna do that. I probably should have save scum before that iteration so that I could see what would happen if I looked up, but oh well. Sorry.
I told them! I freaking told them! Oh man, oh man, oh man!
Racing down the stairs, a breathy laugh escapes me and... my shoe slips and I find myself falling. Till my back hits the ground and pain racks my body. Ouch. My head grows fuzzy and my vision dims as I fight to stay conscious.
No. Go away.
Am I dead? The last thing I see are those feet before all I know is dark. Did I die? While looking for her missing co-agent, Isabella Santos found a mysterious letter in the Ermengarde mansion's attic, driven to fear by what she read inside, thinking it's a place to curse, why she hurried to leave a place only to meet. A buzz breaks the silence. I start to rouse, pulled into consciousness against my own will. I've never felt this tired before. I just want to sleep, but the insistent buzzing, poking and prodding isn't letting me. My old mattress may not be the comfiest of places, but that doesn't make me any more eager to wake up.
5 more minutes, Becca.
I swat away at what is nudging persistently at my side. Oh, sorry, I thought they were saying that. Can't I get a few extra minutes of sleep today? I promise I'll work hard once I'm up. A hand lightly taps my cheek, and something cold is suddenly being pressed at the back of my head. The icy sensation slowly spreads throughout the area, giving me an uncomfortable feeling.
Isabella? Isabella? Oh, can you hear me? Isabella?
The fog immediately lifts from my mind the moment I recognize the voice and my eyes snap open. There, looking down at me, is Rose. Another woman loiters beside her, but my attention is too focused on my co-agent to even ask why there's someone else with her. Rose's posture just screams worry, although she's keeping a straight face, or trying at least. I can't help but feel bad for making her fret. A wave of dizziness washes over me as soon as I try to get up, forcing me to lie back down again. Luckily, the feeling subsides after a few seconds, until only a mild throbbing somewhere at the back of my head remains. She probably has a concussion. You should probably take her to the doctor. With a little assistance from Rose, I push myself upright. She hands me an ice pack and gestures for me to press it where I suspect a small bump has already formed if the light ache in the area indicates anything. Do estate agents need to bring a medkit with them? Because they're constantly traveling?
Alright, Isabella, where are we?
The Ermengarde mansion. Why? Ow, my head.
And the date today?
October 21st? Rose.
Last one. Can you count to 15 in reverse order?
15, 14, 13, 12-teen. No, that's wrong.
What?
Why are we doing this?
She's just checking if your injury is in any way serious.
This time I curiously regard the woman standing beside Rose. It's impossible to overlook her, what with that way she towers over us. She's not that much taller. And here I thought Rose is already tall. Who is she anyway? One of the remaining cleaning crews? Shit, she does not look like she's a cleaning crew. But with how primly dressed she is, I don't think anyone would want to clean in a suit, an expensive suit at that. The gloves alone must have already cost a fortune. Her eyes slowly shift between me and Rose, considering us with an almost unreadable expression before finally fixing a sharp gaze on me. I can't help but fold my arms protectively over myself as she does so. She may be far from a cleaning crew, but she certainly looks like our supervisor during evaluation.
Just do it, please.
I eye them both warily but recite everything as she asked. Rose releases a breath of relief once I'm done.
You scared me for a moment there. I was about to call for an ambulance. Are you all right?
Exasperation soon replaces the dull ache. The memory's a little fuzzy, but the attic and...
There was someone, Rose. In the attic.
Someone? You mean a client? Oh, that's unlikely. It's probably just one of the cleaning crews. The boss sent a few of them back this morning for some last minute...
No, not any of those. I'm not actually sure. Wait, didn't I call you? You said you were in the attic when you answered. That's why I went there in the first place.
Both Rose and the lady look at me like I've just grown another head. Did I say something weird? Rose quickly casts an apologetic smile at the woman before the awkward silence stretches on further. That fucking smile. It's her saleswoman smile, the same one she taught me back when I was still her trainee. I should show this to troublesome clients or to just avoid trouble in general, she advised. It's also the same one she gives me when I've done something particularly absurd that may cause us to lose a potential sale. Her eyes are serious when she turns back to me. She takes both of my shoulders, gently squeezes it, and with as much patience as she can muster.
As much as I'd love to have gotten at least a heads up of your arrival, I didn't really get a call from you. You know, signal here is absolutely horrendous. I was in the garden earlier and couldn't even make a single call. Isabella, I'm going to ask again. Are you really all right? What happened?
I don't know. It's all a bit blurry. I remember I was looking for you, but you weren't in the attic. And there's... whoever it is. Then I must have tripped on a rug or something on the way down. Oh no. Do you think someone came in while you were out? You left the main door open. We are so going to get into big trouble if something gets stolen, Rose.
Perhaps it is a concussion.
Are you sure you feel fine? We could still call for an ambulance. I could cover for you.
How long has she been out? I would have called for an ambulance the moment I saw her.
No, I'm fine. I'm okay, Rose. I can work.
Wait. Hold your horses, Rose. I can't just miss an important sale because of a minor bump on the head. Girl gonna go into a coma. The end of the story is just Isabella was in a coma the whole time. An extremely minor bump. Bump's a bump. I've had worse when I was a kid. This is nothing.
Besides, if I leave, you'll have to shoulder everything in the open house. Alone. And in a mansion this big?
Well, there's also the part where I may lose that bonus BRC promise, but that's completely beside the point. Rose gives me a skeptical look when I return the cold compress to her and push myself off the floor. I have to use the staircase's railings to steady myself, but otherwise I feel fine.
See? I'm A-okay.
The two of them exchange a worried glance and Rose assumes a contemplative look. I bite my lower lip in anticipation if she says no.
All right, you in.
A smile threatens to slip out from me.
But if I see that you aren't feeling well, I'm taking you personally to the nearest clinic to have you checked. Clear?
Clear as day, ma'am. Thanks, Rose.
You insisted. But remember what I said. First sign of you looking not okay, and we're off. No questions asked.
It's just a small bump. Don't worry.
You shouldn't downplay these kinds of things. It could be a serious injury for all we know.
So why didn't you call an ambulance? Suddenly, a small cough sounds against the walls of the foyer, interrupting our banter. That is not banter! The woman is looking expectantly at the two of us, her stare making me shrink back a little on myself. She isn't really intimidating. Well, she is. But not in the scary negative way. Far from it, actually. Her demeanor simply commands an air of sophistication and respect. In a different world, a younger me would have probably wished to be like her. At our lack of response, she coughs again, lifting a well-trimmed eyebrow at me in question. Words get caught in my throat at the sight of it, and Rose, as usual, is swift to catch my blunders.
My sincerest apologies, Mrs.
Miss McCulloch. Marianne McCulloch.
Lord, do I have to say that? McCulloch. McCulloch. Oh, she hands Rose her business card. Marianne McCulloch. Trolley, Rose Designs, interior design. Yeah, I'm not calling that number. That's a long number. 05? The words interior designer catch my eyes before my partner flips it over. Oh, probably someone interested in the mansion for its 17th century influences then. I won't hold it against her though. What? Despite the hearsays and remaining uninhabited for years, the mansion's original fittings and furniture have been kept completely intact and restored to pristine condition. I suppose some people find that trip to the past feeling appealing. How that rhymes. After all, with what it offers, this place could also be a haven for people looking to live somewhere with a classic historical charm.
Miss McCullough, I'm Rose Cooper, and this is my partner, Isabella Santos. We're just ironing out a few things, but we'll be starting the tour soon enough.
I'm gonna pronounce it like cough. Miss McCullough. No, Miss McCullough? Miss McCullough.
In the meantime, we've prepared some refreshments for you in the parlor while you're waiting. If you could please.
Thanks. There's no need for it, though. I just dropped by for a quick survey of the place. I thought I should check the estate before I meet with the homeowners.
Rose's confusion is impossible to miss when she glances at me, and I return it with an equally perplexed look. And against my better judgment, I blurt out the first question that comes to mind.
I'm sorry. Homeowners?
I should have kept my mouth shut. A flash of irritation crosses her face, but it instantly disappears under a mask of professional detachment.
Yes. Hannah Wright? She hired me to handle the interior design for their new home.
Newly bought home?
This is the Ermengarde mansion, right?
It is, but...
She pauses, possibly trying to find the right words to fix the awkward situation without offending someone. Suddenly, Rose nudges me with her elbow. I mean, Isabella seems like a bit of an airhead to me, so I think she'd say, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that's gonna make Rose angry at me. I did say... Where is Rose? Rose isn't actually on here, so I guess whatever.
We're sorry, ma'am. We don't really know what's going on here.
Oh, ooh, ouch, Marianne. Not happy with me. Hey, Isabella's an airhead, I don't care.
If it's okay, maybe we can...
Aren't you the ones in charge here? How can you not know what's going on here?
You see, Miss McCullough, right now the house is...
Amazing how she can keep her voice level yet still convey utter displeasure with it. I'm pretty sure she raised her voice. I've dealt with people acting the opposite before, and if I were to choose, it's much easier to handle clients who talk your ear off when angry. People like her are the hardest to read. Beside me, I shoot Rose a pleading look. She returns it with a glare before taking the reins from me and attempting to smooth out the situation. There's a promise in it that we will be talking about this later. I am not looking forward to that at all. What can I do? She can deal with this better than me. Who knows what might come out of my mouth if I handle this on my own?
We're really sorry, ma'am. My partner's probably still a bit winded from her fall.
If she's unwell, then she shouldn't be working here right now.
You were with her when you found me unconscious. She raises a hand to rub the side of her temples as if to stave off the beginnings of a headache.
Never mind that. I just want to know what's going on here.
I thought my client already owns this house and my services are needed.
I was led to believe that this house has already been bought by my client and my services are needed for the house's interior design.
Perhaps there's been a confusion then. We haven't heard anything from our supervisors regarding a closed deal for this property yet. In fact, today's only the first day of our open house. If you wish, we can call them and confirm for you.
That wouldn't be necessary, but thank you for being direct with me, Miss Cooper. I already thought something was a little odd earlier.
If you'll excuse me, I need to talk to my secretary.
If you'll excuse me, I also have a call to make to my secretary. With a slight wave of her hand, she leaves us. That seems to be the end of it. Both Rose and I breathe a sigh of relief. Disaster averted. Still, I've already prepared myself to dial the number to our Luxborn office and check even if she didn't ask for it. I will be very frustrated if for some reason something has already been decided without mine or Rose's knowledge. That's a whole new level of unfair. We've been working hard on this. Moments later, Miss McCulloch returns, looking a little frustrated but with an apology clear in her face. I feel a little sorry for her having to go through all this trouble.
There seems to have been a little misunderstanding with my client. If you'll allow it, I'd like to stay and wait for them here. I was informed they'll be dropping by for the open house today. I figured it'd be a waste to just leave after that long drive. I might as well meet him here.
Certainly. You could stay at the parlor in the meantime, ma'am. I'm sure it won't be long before our guests arrive. And, Isabella, I left a few documents in my car. You know where I keep those. Can you please get it for me?
Rose takes a glance at her wristwatch before tossing me a set of keys. I cannot see a wristwatch on her model.
And hurry! We've still got a few minutes to double check those papers.
Okay, got it.
The two of them disappear behind the parlor doors. Rose Cooper, along with a woman who introduced herself as Marianne McCulloch, found Isabella Santos lying unconscious in the mansion's foyer before the open house start. Unable to recall what happened prior, Isabella insisted on working despite her co-agent's worries about her well-being. Who just has an ice pack on them? Their departure brings with it a stillness to keep me company, neither welcoming nor comforting. Alone like this, it's impossible not to think of what really happened. I wish the memory isn't as elusive as it normally is. What? Then again, Rose already said she didn't receive a call from me. Was it just paranoia, a temporary lapse after having heard all those tales about this place? Probably. Are you gaslighting yourself? I want to think of it as such. Better to think of it as such so I can work in peace. Except a small part of my mind begs to differ, and I am going to be completely honest with myself. I want nothing more than to leave this place as soon as possible. I don't know what's in this house, and I don't want to know. The keys Rose have just handed me dig into my palm. I don't think that's correct. The keys Rose just handled. The keys Rose... blah blah blah. Its jagged edges creating shallow ridges on my skin. Its jagged edges creating shallow ridges on my skin from how hard I'm clutching it. I am struggling. It's a reminder of what I still need to do and why I've taken this job in the first place. Hugging my blazer closer to my body, I exit the house to get what Rose has asked for me. Just a few more hours, Isabella. Sell the house, get the money. Oh, okay. What? We're just gonna ignore that. A flock of people have already gathered in the mansion's front yard by the time we officially open the doors. I'm not sure whether I should feel baffled or underdressed standing in their presence. Men and women of wealth and status, all dressed to the nines in fancy suits and lovely dresses of varying colors, compose the medium-sized crowd. Their necks, arms, and fingers are adorned with silver and gold, glinting in the afternoon sun. Some even have ridiculously fancy feathered hats on their heads. I really hope there aren't any magpies living nearby, like in the stories. Those birds will have a field day in this. In the stories? What do you mean in the stories? They're murmuring among themselves, looking at the estate's facade appraisingly, with some arguing about whose mansion has the superior architecture. I'm sorry if I'm reading slowly. I do feel like this is a bit strangely worded at times. But most of it stops as Rose calls for their attention. They don't look too pleased at being ordered around, but what can they do about it?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rose Cooper, and this is my partner, Isabella Santos.
I feel like Rose should have a blazer.
We'll be taking a tour of the mansion in 2 groups. Please make sure you filled up our sign-in forms before joining a specific group.
Those who want to look around the first floor, please follow my partner. I'll be guiding the ones who wish to see the ground floor.
Hearing this, a few wonder to me. They're mostly old ladies who seem daunted at the idea of climbing all those stairs. Miss McCulloch also joins our group, but what really catches my eye is the elegantly dressed pair she approaches.
It's so nice to finally meet you! When Chief Inspector Lee mentioned that a famous interior designer is in town, I knew I had to get you.
Your confidence in my skills is very flattering, ma'am.
I'm sure you won't disappoint, Marianne.
1 sec.
I'm sure you won't disappoint, Marianne. I'm sure you won't disappoint, Marianne.
Oh, you know each other?
Not at all, ma'am.
You mentioned something about a Marianne on our way here, darling?
Oh, yes, I think I did.
I'm sorry, but like, those boobs are almost the side of her head. Ah, they must be the clients she was talking about. I might have seen their faces somewhere before. Some magazine? Or the television? I can't quite remember. But then again, most of our guests have likely ended up on the news one way or another. I wouldn't be surprised if these two already have. For people who are popular, though, they aren't dressed as loudly as the others, and in their simplicity, the couple stands out. I mean, that's the thing with wealthy people, like rich people, right? Like, the richer you are, the less you dress like you're rich. Do you know what I mean? So technically, all those people who are wearing the giant feathered hats are just trying to look like they have money. The woman in particular is stunning enough to turn the heads of most people in my group, especially the men with wandering eyes. The guy standing beside her doesn't seem to mind though. And if I'm going to be a bit bolder with my assumptions, I'd say he's basking in their attention. Both of them, in fact. I think they are brother and sister if it wasn't for their public displays of affection. I mean, they still might be. The matching rings on... How can you see that from here? The matching rings on their fingers just cement the fact that they're indeed a couple. My only sunshine. Aw. Whatever. Couple or not, what's important is we get this deal closed before the current owners can even think of cancelling the listing. I just hope one of the people in my or Rosa's group is brave and generous enough to buy this mansion. And so, with papers in hand, I lead the way. Today marked the open house of the infamous Ermengarde Mansion, open to the public for the first time in years. Luxembourg's most esteemed and prominent personalities gathered to catch a glimpse of the 17th century property, including Luxembourg's most well-known couple, Luke and Hannah Wright. Spoilers! When they aren't whispering amongst themselves or going ooh and ah over one thing or another, they ask questions. I like the lighting change. From how the restoration process went to the history of the place, I answer them all, more than happy to talk about the art pieces and architecture mostly. However, I'm careful not to mention anything about the urban legend. Not a good material for sales talk, even if the entire population of Luxembourg knows about it.
Some of the furnishings here are actually the 17th century originals, all of which have undergone a painstaking restoration process just to return its original beauty. Even the glass
Lovely
thingy,
lady.
colorful ones. Oh, I don't know, but you get the idea, I hope.
You mean vase?
Especially that one, ma'am. It is said to be a gift commissioned by the fiancé of Lady Charlotte Ermengarde. The mansion's current owners have specifically requested that the restoration crew take great care in handling it. It's a priceless work of art and the most distinctive feature of the mansion.
Oh, they mean the stained glass. By the time I've stopped talking, her attention is already elsewhere.
Isn't this place wonderful, darling? I told you it's not a total waste of your time.
She's not even wearing a ring.
I don't know. Isn't it a bit too small? We might have to break a wall down to have more room.
Well, I think it is just right. Don't you think so, Marianne?
Mary Ann.
Mom, you haven't finalized anything with an agent yet. I would really advise against making plans this early when...
Never mind that. It isn't going to be a problem. We've got a wonderful legal team to handle everything. Start taking notes, though. I think I've got a few things I want changed before we move in.
The rest of their conversation gets lost in the chatter of our companions. I don't want to make any assumptions yet, but their sheer interest is enough to give me some semblance of hope. Oh, please, please, please let these guys be the one. Eventually, our group reaches the kitchen. Cute. Much like the wait a minute. Where is the oven? Is that the oven? And where's the hob? Is that the hob? That's like storage. Where's the fridge? Is that the fridge? Oh dear. Much like the rest of the house, a great deal of effort has been put in retaining the room's classic appeal. The open hearth at the end of the room in particular looks amazing, like the ones I've only seen in fairy tale books. I would not want to cook with that. And mad props to the cleaning crew. Seriously, after overhearing hundreds of their complaints about the soot and tar staining the bricks, and how much of a pain in the ass cleaning this will be, they still managed to pull this off. Or make it look presentable, at least.
The highlight of the room, however, is what's underneath this hatch here.
Oh, don't say anything yet. An underground wine cellar.
Pretty sure that's the wrong usage of grey. I'm pretty sure grey with an E is the color, grey with an A is a name. This is the first time the guy in grey speaks up, Mr. Luke Wright. My memory supplies from the forms they signed earlier. His sudden attentiveness catches me off guard. Since the start of the tour, only his wife has shown any form of genuine interest in this place. But this time, something lights up in his eyes at the mention of the Undercroft. What's so interesting about a basement? I don't really understand rich people sometimes. Right now, he just gives me the impression of a child who has seen what he absolutely wants for Christmas. Alcohol. I've always found it cute whenever I see children act that way, my younger siblings especially. Did you just call him cute? On a grown man? It's almost funny.
Yes, sir. It could house around 7,000 to 11,000 bottles of wine.
What? What?
Truly. And the room, how was it built?
The bricks that were used to build the cellar had been carefully picked for the purpose of maintaining and preserving a constant temperature and humidity in the room. It's a good place to keep your private collection in if you have one, sir.
It keeps the corks in good condition.
Oh, love. Didn't you say before that you wanted to make your own personal vineyard? Perhaps you could start one here.
You know we're going to need space for that, darling.
And this isn't big enough?
If it's space you're worried about, sir, the Ermengarde mansion sits on a 46-acre lot. There's plenty of room for it. We were told that the original owners had a horse stable built here before, too.
I love her just opening of the mouth. There's a contemplative expression on Mr. Wright's face, but he doesn't say anything further. His wife, however, seems really pleased that he has started to show interest, if only a little. I smile to myself. May not completely understand how these people's minds work, but I sure as hell know how to spot a buyer with sincere interest. Score! I can't wait to tell Rose! The rest of the tour goes by without a hitch. After more than half an hour, we're able to cover almost every room in the ground floor and are heading to the parlor. Funny, the first time BRC had us survey the property, I kept complaining to Rose how big it is. Now I can't even bring myself to care no matter how much my feet hurt. Maybe this is just my excitement over a possible sale? I'm sorry, but I would say if your feet hurt from just walking along the ground floor, it would take longer than 30 minutes. When we reach the parlor, however, an odd feeling washes over me. It starts off as small goosebumps on my skin, a feeling of being watched intently. Whispers in my ear and shadows dancing lurking in the corner of my vision. Dark silhouettes that are gone when I turn to look. A chill settles down my spine, making me feel sick, and I start to break out in a cold sweat. I can't do this. I need to sit down for a moment. The old ladies in the group have been requesting for a break anyway. If I can just...
Excuse me? Everyone? We will be taking a 15-minute rest here before we visit the first floor. In the meantime, please help yourselves to the refreshments and snacks we prepared. If anyone has any questions, feel free to approach me. I'd be happy to help you.
I let them sit while I retreat to a quiet corner to recover. It's not what you think. Don't think about it. It's not what you think. I probably just caught Becca's cold. Don't think about it. Becca, that's why you don't go into school when you're ill. I'm left alone for a good while, the same words spilling out of my lips in a silent prayer. Until a hand taps my shoulder.
Hello, you there?
Yes, ma'am?
Oh, look at you. Having to show a group around a mansion this big must be exhausting.
Not a problem, ma'am. I'm
I
just
love her
doing my
pursing her
job.
lips. I love her pursing her lips.
What a hard worker. Anyway, Isabel, right?
Isabella, actually. But yes, what can I help you with, ma'am, right?
I love her dead eyes.
Please, just Hana. Call me Hana.
I am not calling you Hana.
I just wanted to ask, how soon are we able to move in?
My brain completely stops. The sick feeling plaguing me is suddenly gone, replaced by utter bewilderment. Is this a joke? She looks at me expectantly as I struggle to come up with an answer.
Wait, ma'am, you see, but we haven't even negotiated a price yet, ma'am. We haven't even finished touring the rest of the mansion. A sale would be great and all, but...
She stops me from speaking any further and puts a hand on my shoulder. For a moment, with her tight smile, she looks as if she has tasted a particularly sour lemon.
Oh, please, sweetie, don't insult me. Money is not a problem. And, just between you and me, this place is better off with us than with some old lady who will probably just fill it up with cats.
I personally don't think there's anything wrong with having cats here, ma'am Hana. I'm sure there's more than enough space here if you want pets.
Perhaps I'm still not feeling well, but really, what's wrong with cats? More importantly, why is she talking about moving in already?
Well, I'm more of a dog person. But you see, this is going to be a gift to my darling. It's going to be our anniversary soon. And it would be so wonderful if you can secure its purchase for us. Why, I can even offer something extra if you help us out with the paperwork.
We actually have a process for this, ma'am. I don't really think that would be necessary or appropriate.
And just what are you two lovely ladies talking about here? Leaving me and our lovely interior designer to talk here by ourselves. What would the people think, darling?
Oh, it's just small talk, love. I was asking if she could help me with the paperwork.
I try not to wince when her nails dig into my shoulder. Jesus Christ. I can't help but send an imploring look at Miss McCulloch, who only looks away with a sigh.
Yeah, I can give you a fact sheet and a form to fill out.
She wastes no time in taking the papers away from my hand and shuffles through the bunch. Oh man, Rosa's gonna be so angry at me for letting her do that.
Wonderful. And Marianne, I'd really love to talk to you about those changes. You took some notes earlier, yes?
I did, Mom. But I really hope that this time...
Excellent. Hopefully you can help us out too, Isabel.
Sheesh, still pronouncing her name wrong. Alright, we should rename you Karen. Karen. How did she say it? Hannah? I forgot.
Isabella.
Right. It's a lovely name, Isabel.
It's Isabella.
Yes, that's great. We'll be more than happy to put in a good word to your superiors too, and what's this?
A look of confusion and disgust appears on her face. Turning to her husband, he merely shrugs in reply.
That's, an interesting work of art. Not to my taste, though. I'm sorry.
Darling, Buttercup, art is a complete overstatement for this garbage. It looks like a cheap prop from a D-list horror film.
Shush, love. Let the girl do what she pleases with, what do they call this? Oh, forget about it. At the very least, it's not as dreadful as the one art exhibit I was forced to attend last month. You should have seen it, Marianne. Even you would have been appalled. But I'm sure you'll know what to do with our walls once we get started.
I highly doubt it is as bad as you say, Ma'am. Nevertheless, you can be assured that my team will only pick whatever suits your tastes. Nothing of this chain letter sort, of course. It has to always work with a palette.
I'm quite sure chain letters these days don't come in this form.
It's my turn to be puzzled. What do they mean? Whereas I double-checked everything? Are the papers I handed not enough? I want to ask what I did wrong. I don't want to mess this up. I forgot how she said it. Mom Hana is leading the conversation. I'm afraid that it's exactly what will happen if I do interrupt her.
That's good to hear. See, darling, isn't she an absolute delight to work with? I can't wait to see how this place will look when she's done with it.
Oh, you don't have to tell me that, Buttercup.
So the letter was show this? Was it show this or send this? I can't click on that, so There are profiles! I knew it. Anyway, so far I've shown it to 3 people, so if I show it to 2 more, Isabella should survive, surely. She's 26. I'm older than Isabella. Oh, she's Filipino. Roman Catholic. Cinnamon rolls, dog food. Police procedural dramas. Teleseries, comedies, karaoke. She's the 3rd child among 7 daughters of a laundrywoman and a jeepney driver. She went to a public school and was an average student but took to art easily. Eventually, she pursued a degree in fine arts, as encouraged by her father. However, when a man was diagnosed with trauma illness, she had to stop studying to make money. It was Isabella's aunt who helped her get work overseas in order to earn more money than any local job could get her. Rose Cooper became her mentor as soon as she started an agent at BRC. It's been 5 years since she met her neighbor Rebecca. She met Ashton during an unfortunate incident involving her first sale at Devlin Court, and later Zachary through him. I'm sorry. Isabella should surely have an accent, right? Like, she got a degree in the Philippines, which means she should at least be, well, she went to the UK when she was 18 plus. She should definitely have an accent. Alright, it doesn't really say anything about her personality. Hard worker to get loads of money. A smile is back on her face when she turns to me and hands me a strange piece of paper.
I would still put it away if I were you, though. Otherwise, people might get the wrong impression. Anyway, as I was saying...
I don't hear the rest of what she says after that. I can only stare down at the paper, at the letter, name of the game, in my hands. The sides crinkle in my grip and my breathing grows labored. Dread quickly fills my mind.
Isabella? Isabella? Are you alright? You're looking pale.
I didn't even notice when Rose's group joined us in the parlor. I want nothing more than to say that no, I'm not alright. I want to leave this place because I remember everything as clear as day. This letter and those blood-soaked limbs in the attic. It's real.
The letter. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Careless. I've been so careless. How do I even tell them that without looking like I've gone mad? Should I even tell them? If I show it to Rose, then I only need to show it to one more person. Oh, but I don't think Isabella would show it. Fuck. Oh, I'm so conflicted. If I show the letter to Rose, then I can show the letter to Becca, so that her and her sick ass can also perish. But if I don't show it to her, then I still need to show it for 2 people. I'm pretty sure Isabella wouldn't show... Oh, you know... You know what? How about you guys decide what I do? I'm gonna save here. You tell me, should I show the letter to Rose or should I leave it? And then I'll make that decision because I can't make up my mind, so you're gonna have to. Oh, well, thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you all on the next episode of The Letter. This was about an hour long, so I'm gonna edit this into the smaller bits, but you get the gist of it. Whatever. I hope you enjoyed it so far. It's slowly starting to ramp it, but it was a bit slow at the beginning, but hopefully it does start getting spookier and scarier, I think. But yeah, I hope to see you all on future episodes. Kisses, bye.